Legislative Update by Alec Libben. A thumbnail photo of this newest BVA staff member, a younger-looking man, accompanies the legislative update. It is a shoulder-length frontal view of Alec against a dark background. He is wearing the usual dark blue BVA-colored shirt with the logo over the left front pocket. His expression consists of a faint smile. The update is expressed by the following. Before I begin this quarter's update, here is a brief introduction. I am Alec C. Libben, the new Deputy Director of Government Relations for BVA. I earned a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from the American University and a Master of Public Policy from the George Washington University. I have interned twice in the House of Representatives, where I developed relationships with staffers and learned the ropes of Capitol Hill. I was the executive director of a political committee and worked as a research assistant for a defense consulting firm where I assisted in leveraging the Department of Defense to implement innovative technology while also assisting our partner lobbying firms' efforts on Capitol Hill. I am excited to join BVA and can't wait to help in every way I can. As the 117th Congress was winding down in late December, the House and Senate made significant changes to the auto grant legislation. The most important changes concern those who have used the grant before and the timing of the grant. This law changes the grant from only once per veteran and authorizes a second grant. Further, the law implements a confusing wait period of 30 years between grants. The wait period itself, however, will disappear in 10 years. This means that if you used the auto grant 15 years ago, you would be eligible in 2032. But if you used the grant 25 years ago, you would become eligible in 5 years. If you use the grant today, you must wait 10 years for the second grant because the wait period will have expired. Combined with the Special Adaptive Equipment Grant, the Auto Grant allows veterans to gain and maintain access to their own transportation and ensure a higher quality of life. Another important piece of legislation that passed during the 117th Congress is the Improving Access to the VA Home Loan Benefit Act of 2022. This law requires VA to update regulations, requirements, and guidance related to appraisals for housing loans guaranteed by VA. Part of updating the guidance includes VA now accounting for situations where desktop appraisals provide cost savings for borrowers, while a traditional appraisal requirement could cause time delays and jeopardize the completion of a transaction. Veterans should now be able to use the VA home loan without fear that red tape may cost them their new home. We thank Representative Mike Bost, Republican, Illinois, District 12, newly named chairman of the House Committee on Veterans Affairs, for achieving this breakthrough and for his continued fight for veterans. With the new 118th Congress comes new priorities and BVA's continued advocacy on behalf of blinded and low-vision veterans. 3 of our key priorities worthy of highlighting are the Major Richard Starr Act, the GUARD VA Benefits Act, and the Helping Heroes Act. The Major Richard Starr Act affects the more than 42,000 military retirees with combat-related injuries who qualify for retirement pay from the Department of Defense for their service and for VA disability compensation for injuries acquired in combat with fewer than 20 years of service. The disability pay is currently deducted from retirement pay. The Major Richard Starr Act would repeal this unfair offset, allowing disabled veterans to receive both their retirement pay and their disability compensation. We thank Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs Chairman John Tester, Democrat, Montana, for making this repeal one of his top priorities for the new Congress. BVA believes that America's veterans have earned their benefits and deserve them in full. Unfortunately, there are those who seek to use them to fill their own coffers. The process of preparing, submitting, and appealing a claim is a complex maze that requires assistance for many. This has led to a cottage industry that exploits veterans by charging them outrageous fees that ultimately undermine the claim's benefit. The GUARD VA Benefits Act prevents this by making it a criminal offense to impose on veterans the fees that are unauthorized by VA. This is an important step in protecting our veterans who have already sacrificed more than enough. We thank Representatives Chris Pappas, Democrat, New Hampshire, District 1, and Jake Elzy, Republican, Texas, District 6, as well as Senator John Boozman, Republican, Arkansas, for sponsoring the bills that made this legislation possible. Disabled veterans face a unique hardship. The Helping Heroes Act seeks to provide assistance and help ease the burden faced by families of these veterans. Approximately 2.3 million children under the age of 18 live in a household with a disabled veteran. This bill would provide grants to local educational agencies to support the needs of veteran-connected students, require VA to collect data on the experiences of disabled veteran families to better identify and understand their needs, establish a family support program to provide supportive services to eligible family members of disabled veterans, and many other important steps in assisting disabled veterans and their families. We acknowledge Senator Patty Murray, Democrat, Washington State, for her role in introducing the legislation. As I close this quarter's update, I believe that this is an appropriate time to reflect on the role of the Blinded Veterans Association as an advocate. The organization is responsible for helping countless veterans navigate the VA system and participate in protecting their own interests on Capitol Hill, with the White House, and with other government entities. We exist to help you, and legislation is, in most cases, the enabling piece that ultimately determines who receives help. The process of securing veterans' benefits can be painstaking. While we work to make things simpler with any solutions we can find, legislation itself ensures that changes remain in perpetuity. Even still, such changes are never guaranteed to be lasting, and history has shown that progress can be slowed to the point of undoing or nullifying them. BVA will continue to fight for you and ensure that positive change is lasting. We exist for you, and we will never forget the sacrifices made to ensure freedom. We will make certain that the promise of continued assistance and care is never broken.